Well, I got the Partagas. I love this cigar. This is in like a Toro, but it's a 6 by 49, and I got damage. Why do I got damage? Top and bottom. Let me tell you right now. Tubos. Now the cap is not on now, but I had the tubo in my hand with the cap on. But somehow, though, when I'm walking around with it, and I was talking on my phone to the daughter, if you want to throw a cigar across the room without realizing it, just put a cigar here and walk around and go like this, and you could launch a cigar 20 feet, just like a missile. Anyways, though, so I got damage to the cigar, and that's exciting. And I hope it doesn't ruin. And it's Cameroon, the most delicate wrapper. This is a nice looking, dark, medium brown looking, uh, kind of textured Cameroon wrapper. Mexican San Andreas binder, Mexican San Andreas, and Dominican Piloto Cubano on the filler. So these cigars are really good, especially when you go with smaller gauges. 49. There's even one step down. I think is it a 46? I don't know. Whatever it is. I really enjoy these Partagas. If you like Hemingway Classic Series, you're gonna really like these. If you like Don Carlos, you're gonna really like these. If you like the Coiba Red Dot, you're gonna like this. I'm not saying any of them are equal or the same exact experience, but they're all Cameroon. And when you understand where the Cameroon tobacco comes from, like General, I'll tell you this, Fuente, they don't grow their Cameroon. They don't. They don't. They all get it from the same place. From the Marefafel family. The Marefafel out of Cameroon. All the Cameroon tobacco is grown in little spots all throughout that country. It's gathered and sold by one family out of Spain. A squirrel. What's he doing? Anyways, that's why with a lot of Cameroon cigars, you get some crossovers. However, though, depending on the binder and filler and the size, is how it's going to push the blend. Now, of course, within the Cameroon, you have maybe how long they age it, and on top of that, or the size. These things are factors. But the bottom line is they're all getting tobacco from the same source. I can't say it's the only tobacco that's like that, because I think Mexican San Andreas, the Negro Mexican San Andreas, the very dark Mexican San Andreas, I believe that's all kind of controlled by one area too, by one family. I'm pretty sure on that. Anyways, though, so yeah, I digress. Gonna get to it. Just gonna come back and, well, now we're gonna review the cigar, but also we're gonna review the damage. I got damage to the top, damage to the bottom. It's got daddy issues. I threw it. I smacked it around. Shit. Well, we're smoking right through the damage. We're at a nice medium plus. 65% darkness. Nice flavor. It's not as intense as the Cohiba Red Dot. The Cohiba Red Dot is a little stronger than this. Also, the Cohiba Red Dot's a little sweeter than this. If I had to choose between one of the two, I'd go with the Red Dot. However, though, this doesn't just feel like a washed down version of the Red Dot. It's got a different vibe to it. The Red Dot feels more like a true Cameroon. This feels more like a little bit like a tweaked Cameroon. I'll explain what I mean by that. The Red Dot, it has a lot more similarities, like with the Don Carlos and the Hemingway. This has some nice cinnamon to it, but it's not as rich or a dark type of cinnamon, or it's heavy. It's a little more lighter on its feet, a little more nutty. But the way the Red Dot hits, it literally tastes like no diddy. It tastes like caramelized, sweet, sugary cinnamon nuts with black pepper. Literally, when you smoke a Red Dot, you're tasting those sweet nuts, no diddy. This doesn't have that kind of vibe. The nuts are drier. The cinnamon's less sweet, although it's there though. That's a different vibe. There's more cedar on this than the regular Red Dot. This is a fantastic cigar, though. I'd say damn near it's probably classy. It's quite smooth. This is not like some bullshit low mid tier cigar. I'd probably put this right around upper mid-tier. Bands are on point. Bands are classy. Like I said, I damaged that. I think the cigar literally went about 8 feet, which that was not cool. Cause I didn't even know it. I felt something fly out the tube. Obviously, it was a cigar, but I was on the phone, but I was looking at the floor when it happened. I was like, "The fuck was that?" And then I looked back in the tube. And you know what I saw in the tube? This. And if you have a cigar in your tube and you see this, your cigar learned how to fly. Can't stress that enough. Very enjoyable. Anyone can enjoy this. This is an easy to love cigar. General owns a lot of farms. General grows a lot of tobacco. General has some great blenders, some of the best blenders in the world. It's a major production. Partagas is not a bullshit brand. You need to try the Valley Verde, especially in smaller sizes. That's a lighter style Mexican San Andreas. Fantastic. Partagas Black is a fantastic, probably their most famous. That's a great cigar. Partagas makes some great stuff. And nothing about like what General does feels generally, talking about whether Partagas or Macanudo, CAO, definitely not CAO, obviously Cohiba. Nothing feels like basic bitch. Like, well, this is Cohiba's Connecticut Shade, this is Cohiba's Maduro, and this is Cohiba's Sungrown. This is Macanudo's Connecticut Shade, this is Macanudo's Sungrown, this is Macanudo's Maduro. You know, a lot of brands do that, but they like the flavors, like basic, like you could change the brand. They all taste the same. You could go with a formulaic Maduro, a formulaic shade grown, etc. These really good blending, and they have a really wide range of tobacco. General has the most tobacco out of any cigar company in the world. Now, why? So why do they get disrespected? Well, they're mass produced. Okay, like, you know, I don't understand the disrespect. What a great cigar. It's not bullshit. Now, the finish is a little floral going on to it. So it has some cinnamon to it, but not as rich as the cinnamon. It has some nuttiness, but it's not as a beautiful cigar as the Red Dot. And it's a little lighter, too. It's not as dark and not as strong. So why would you smoke this cigar, though? Oh, it's a great cigar. It almost like if you were in the mood for a Connecticut Shade, but almost like wanted a Cameroon Connecticut Shade, if that makes any sense. Because there's a little bit of floral on the back end going on. Finish is quite light. I'm sure it's going to change. I mean, there is some length to the finish, but it's not very heavy. Oh, right there. Strengths pick it up. More of a heavy medium plus right there. I'm going to go and come back. All I can say is it's a class act cigar. It's a world standard. It's been around forever. It's a great looking band. And if you want something a little more refreshing and lighter and not as strong as the Red Dot, I'm not saying this Red Dot is a massively strong cigar, but, you know, towards the middle and the end of it, you can get to around more lighter, medium, full, and around 70% darkness. And the Red Dot has a very pungent smell and very long, heavy finish. So this might be better as a first cigar of the day, maybe, because this not as heavy as a finish and not as strong a cigar and lighter. This might be a good afternoon or a breakfast cigar. But if you don't want a Connecticut Shade, it's nice. It's a different vibe. It's not just like, well, the Partagas is our mid-tier Cameroon cigar, and then the Cohibas are our top-tier Cameroon cigar. No, they both are viable cigars, and they're both fantastic. However, like I said, the Partagas is a little more reserved than the Cohiba. But I think I paid about $8, you know, at a lounge yesterday. Very reasonable. That was Pennsylvania. Now, of course, if you go online, this is mass produced, you can get a really good price. Even better. Do I recommend Partagas, the classic line? It's box worthy. But get it at a size that's appropriate to the time you want. And also get it at a size, like I said, right here in this Toro, 6x49. Right now, it's a medium plus. It's very nice. If you want it weaker, go bigger. If you want it stronger, go skinnier and shorter. I can't stress it enough. The cigar The blend, yeah, sure, but also the size is the delivery device. Picture, picture this like you're watching a movie, and in the movie, the beginning, the middle, and the last act have to happen, no matter what, no matter how long the movie is. Now, if one movie's 2 hours, they have 2 hours to give you the beginning, middle, and end. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? But if you only have an hour and a half, now they only have 30 minutes to do the beginning of the movie, 30 minutes to the middle, 30 minutes to the end. Now imagine they try to fit a whole movie in an hour. So the point is, when you smoke a cigar, the blend's the message, but the size is how much time you have to interpret and understand the cigar. When you go shorter, you're getting less time, but you're getting less distance when you first light up. If you start off right here, like a 4-inch cigar, there's less distance, and smoke's hitting you harder, faster. You're also starting off with a stronger part of the leaf, because the stem side they're going to put back here, and the tip of the leaf is here. And the longer the cigar, they cut off less. The shorter the cigar, they cut off more. Okay? Can't stress it enough. So you're always smoking towards the stronger part of the cigar. If you don't believe me, buy a cigar you already smoked many times and smoke it backwards. Light this part instead and smoke it from here. Nice smoke output, 65% darkness. I would be driving with this cigar. I think it's a good cruising cigar because, and I don't mean cruising for dudes, no diddy. I mean, it's just a nice cigar. It's not overbearing, it's classy. You can smoke this walking around, you're not going to offend anyone except the Fruit Loop. And I'm just saying, it's a nice, enjoyable cigar. And it's a little more tame than the Red Dot, but I think it has a great purpose. It's similar vibe as far as the strength and the vibe if you like the Cohiba Blue, which is a lighter on the Honduran side, but it's a lighter. So if you like the Cohiba Blue Dot, this might be a little more up your alley, or the Macanudo Orange. If you're looking for good afternoon cigars that are just a little lighter on their feet and having a good time, the Macanudo Inspirato Orange, the Cohiba Blue Dot, and the Partagas Classic. Those are all kind of like connected as far as the vibe. I know what I'm fucking talking about. Okay? I can't stress it enough. What a fantastic cigar. Classy, elegant. If you like the Hemingway, if you like regular Don Carlos, if you like the Red Dot, you're going to really like this cigar. You know, they're all Cameroon from the same area, but, different type of binder and fillers and aging processes, etc. But you're going to have it's like they're all cousins. They're not brothers and sisters, they're cousins. So there's going to be a family connection. That's what's cool about true Cameroon. I'm not talking about Honduran Cameroon or Nicaraguan Cameroon. Those are all bastards. But true Cameroon from Africa, they're all coming from one source and through one Spanish family controlling it for I don't know how long. Anyways, though, the finish is a little long, a little heavier, but not as heavy or strong as the Blue Dot Cohiba or the Red Dot Cohiba. Nice cinnamon, but it's not as sweet as the Red Dot. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just it's a little more relaxed. I like this cigar. I damn near love it. I got nothing bad to say. I think the band's awesome. And what's nice is we smoked right past the damage. This thing survived a better drop test than the Sig 320. Fuck. It has a little creaminess to it, almost like a little vanilla. It definitely has a nice cinnamon note to it, but not as prevalent. There's a little like the sweet spice. The cinnamon is like mixing with the black pepper. So, but it's not like overly done black pepper. But I mean, I like a lot of black pepper, but it's not a very spicy cigar. Anyone could smoke this, a newbie, but even a cigar aficionado like myself, because I'm not a douchebag, I can enjoy this cigar. I know this is good tobacco. How do I know? Well, I see with my tongue. That's what cigars teach you, to see with your tongue. That's what cigar teaches you. Cigars teach you to see with your tongue. but you're not eating it, but you're not drinking it. For a moment, just like your life, you hold on to the smoke, paints a picture, and you release it. Just like every day, you breathe in, you breathe out. And then one day, I promise you, if you're hearing this, you're going to breathe out your last breath. See, cigar, you puff and you come back, you puff, but eventually there's no more puff. And in your life, I promise you, one day, you're going to breathe in, and then you're going to have the last thing every human does, period, is exhale. We're all connected. When you die, no matter how you die, period, you will exhale. And you will give up your spirit. Your body's contained. Your spirit is contained by your body. You have a temporary vessel to experience this thing called life. That's what we call it, interpretation. I don't know what God calls it, but He gave us temporary dominion as we live. So along the way, though, I highly recommend to forgive one another. Do the opposite of banks don't forgive you. The banks, you have a debt with the bank. In fact, they charge you more money because you have a debt. That's like sending you to prison and giving you more prison time because you went to prison. But you yourself, along the way, you could free yourself and everyone around you. You don't like the way they're acting, forgive them. If you can't love someone, forgive them. I mean, you could kill them too, but then you might go to prison, or you're gonna have to really keep it a secret. However, though, being that for the past almost 10 years, I've chosen to change my life, and not just change my life, but to try to help others to change theirs. And not that I think I'm some holy man, but there was a holy man named Christ, the only perfect man that ever walked this earth. And he lived to be as an example of how we should live. We're never going to be exactly like him at all. But he only told us the 2 commandments. All 10 commandments go down to 2, and really 1. Love. Love God and love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now you can say, my neighbor's an asshole. Forgive him. Because if you were an asshole, if you were in debt, would you like forgiveness? So God's going to give you the grace, the forgiveness that you give others. I can't stress it enough. The way you treat others is the way God's going to treat you. If you're a merciless bastard, treating people weaker than you with evil and malice, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? So if you've been acting that way, stop it. Stop it. In a way, look at your life as like a stopwatch, but instead of the time going up, time's going down. You're always running out of time, and you don't know if you're going to get 50 more years or live to 100 or die today. I can't stress it enough. But I can't stress that enough. You might be in your last third. You might be down to the nub. You might be down to your nub. No diddy. I got a big nub. God blessed me with an 8-inch nub. And I appreciate that. Wherever you are, God, I really appreciate. Thank you. I'm not a rich man, but God blessed me in other ways. Some people have a lot of money. I got a giant sack. You know, hey, we can't have everything, right? We can't have everything. There's not a lot of billionaires with 8-inch cocks. I just can't stress it enough. Fantastic cigar, classy, delicious, a happy kind of a celebration cigar. I would drink some champagne with this and have a good time. Well, it started raining again. Last third. It's not exactly medium full, but it's a real heavy medium plus. The spices picked up. A little jalapeno spices came in towards the end. It's quite nice. Quite delicious. Still nutty. creamy texture. Finish a little longer, but it's not a super heavy, long or finish. 65% darkness. Nice cedar. Nice little cinnamon note. It's a classy cigar with an ample amount of flavor, but not overdone. If you're looking to have like a nice experience, it's a little more reserved, a little more held back, but still really nice flavor. Try the Partagas Classic. If you want more flavor out of this, more strength, go for this in that Corona. The Corona size, I forget the number they call it though. Might be number 4, but try this in the smaller size, in a little Corona, and you're gonna have that's a real banger. But this was nice, just relaxing with this. And I'm done here on the review. Where is this gonna be? This experience right now, solid 4.6. Great time, classy, no complaints. Life's good. See you around.